Plan was to travel around America and go all the way across America, go down to Mexico, blah, 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 come back and start college. An event happened to me that changed my life and put me on a path of meeting someone that taught this at a school. I gave up, did everything that should have ended me up in the middle of a meat freezer, dead. I left with people I didn't know, left to a state away from everything I was comfortable with, moved to Belfouche, South Dakota, population of 50. And my whole life just changed. From there on, I learned how to channel, how to quiet my mind, all these different techniques. I've spent years at someone's feet watching them channel and listening to Spirit's message. So I think the first thing that is important, what is Spirit? Why are we here? Why would I choose to channel it? Why is April choosing to channel it? What is this about? What am I about to hear from your perspective? Spirit has been with us ever since we first took physical form. There are reasons why when you go into spiritual teachings, they all, regardless of where it comes from and how, what culture it comes from, what shape it is, it all starts sounding the same. And if you listen to the way Spirit talks, they talk very much like those teachings where they don't understand you, I, her, him. They understand we perspective. We are one. In a New Age community, we understand that. That's what we're learning. We are one. They are here to demonstrate that and have been demonstrating that for us and through us throughout the ages. So some people call them angels, some people call them white lights, some people, there's lots of names that they go by. And from my experience of working with them, they're like, whatever, call me a shoebox. Here are the teachings. So looking at that, like a lot of people, they think they'll get afraid. What is Spirit? Oh my God, is this going to get us to someplace dark? No, if you listen to them, all they teach is light. All they demonstrate is light. All you can expect is enlightenment. That's what they're about. That's what they teach. I have on this planet, when it comes down to having a demonstration of love and never having it go south, never being disappointed, never having it fall short. There's only one being that I've encountered that has continually demonstrated that, and that is Spirit. Without fail, without disappointment, whether I have been angry, whether I have been sad, whether I have been happy, they have no attachment to what my current mood swing may be. They are here regardless to teach me the truth. And when you encounter something of that type of force and nature, it's not something you let go easy because there's a truth there. And for me, that's the gift that I step out of the way for and allow them to speak and use my body to speak to you. Channeling, which in the video that April released, we do go over that if that's going to be part of it. The way that channeling works for both me and April, I've learned to raise my vibration. They learn to lower their vibration. We meet in a happy medium, which is where the word comes from, and we communicate. So if you ever had a moment where, if you have a child, you have a mate, you have a best friend, and there's something going on, and you look at each other, and you know exactly what each other's thinking. You can hear it. You just had a moment of connection, of telepathy. Okay, exactly that, but with Spirit. Don't make it out to be something more than it's not. It's just being trained to be able to do that in the moment consistently for 45 minutes to an hour to bring that energy through of constant connection and words, and we know what each other's thinking and we move as one.
Interesting, because you all are going to watch. Now, David and I recently met. I mean, you guys know I just don't pick people up off the street and do this, that you know of. No, but we just recently met, and with spirit, things happen effortlessly. And when I say channeling, what that means is, most of you know, a medium is an individual that holds space and is able to communicate with the other side, whether they like it or not. And mediums don't always communicate back, but they can receive from spirit. When you're channeling, there is something called trans mediumship, which I always thought was kind of cool and freaky. Be careful what you ask for. You're going to get it. And some of you experienced that on December 30th on Facebook Live when I channeled Archangel Gabriel. Something incredibly new, different, and out of my comfort zone for me. But I have to say, as part of the Spirit Posse, I vowed to go in my faith where I've never been before, because of literally all of you. We are all in a similar vibration where the world is no longer fitting. It's like we're no longer fitting in, but we're starting to realize that it's no longer fitting into us. And so when I channel, I'm going to be holding space for beings that are very wise. Some of you have known me forever. No, I did not finish college. So some of the wordage that comes out of my face is very like, 2,000 years ago. So what is powerful about this evening? This is not something that is rehearsed. We are all going to go in it. We are going to breathe. I would love for us to lead a breath exercise, because that is allowing spirit to step into this. I am going to go into prayer. Why? Because we are working with spirit. And as most of you know now, vibrationally, energetically, spirit is everywhere, kind of like love bugs on your car right now. So that means the good, the bad, the ugly. And when you step into spiritual work in faith, there is no ugly ever. So we're going to go into this with prayer, which is focused intention. And as you all know, the Paula Deen of the spiritual world, I love that. No, I'm kidding. But as you guys know, 2020 Spirit has finally shared 2021 is the year of receiving. Spirit said this year was the year of blessings. And so there is this unfolding that is happening. And David and I, you're about to see something pretty cool, because you're going to watch two completely different people. I am in Texas, he is in Florida, but you're going to watch us connect with one source, and it is the same source that flows to and through each of you. It is the same source that called you to watch this video, whether it is live or you're watching a recorded version, or some family member sent it to you to scare the crap out of you. Welcome to our world. So I am just blessed, because this would not have been put together tonight if you did not, at some degree, ask for it.
One thing to clarify before we get into different styles, because this is going to confuse people, and I want to make sure you guys understand it. And then trust me, we'll shut up and get out of the way and get to the point, because you didn't come here to see us.
Right.
Well aware of that, painfully aware of that. So we have different channeling styles. April deals with a group. So which one is coming through, which voice is actually using her? There has been times that she has switched to a Jamaican black accent, and I'm like, oh my God, that is the coolest. And then she switches and she sounds like an old man. For me, when I channel, I am trained to channel one voice. Her name is Woman of the Forest. And that's who's going to be speaking to me tonight. So yes, I channel a woman. So you're going to see spirit drag going on here tonight. My voice will change, my actions will change, my facial expression will change, just like hers. I always use the same voice that's a spokesperson for the group. Here's what's interesting and what's important between us. We work from the same group. As a channel that's been learning about this since 17 years old, I can tell you that I know my group has told me before that they work with, and I say my group because there's Woman of the Forest, a spokesperson, and then there's about 10 other spirits behind that collect information. That's the way that they work. when a question comes up or topic, they're working harmoniously together as one spirit to bring truth and angle everything to the sharpest point of light. They don't argue. They don't get upset. All they're concerned about is the truth. So it's amazing to watch it work when you get to know it, because it's a lesson, a page that we really need in our book on how to run things here on the planet. We work from the same group. They have told me before that I am not, she did it as an ego bust for me one time, that I am not the only channel, physical channel that they work through. Now, the rarity of actually physically meeting another in the same point, the same time, the same life, never seen it happen before.
So you guys are about to get a little freaked out, okay? So this is why I'm excited. You know, some of you, I've had friends that pop on here that have been with me since kindergarten. So this is really, let's push our spirit in this body. Let's not push our body with our spirit. Let's push our spirit. So, David, are you ready? If you guys have pens, pencils, bring them out. If you guys are able to record this on your end, or if you have an iPad that you can do a voice memo, trust me, there are going to be things that are going to come out that we will not be able to repeat. So I encourage you to capture what you can. Again, I am recording this. I do not know how to do a split screen with David side by side yet. So if anybody knows really quick and could tell me, I will be more than happy. I could pin his video, but all I see is him. And then I could pin mine, but I can't figure out how to do both. So we'll figure it out. And David, you and I are side by side anyway. So, all right, are you ready? Does everybody have some sort of an idea of what's about to happen tonight? Yes. Okay.
What should happen is that it should eventually, and this is our first time trying it. I've seen it once before happen where the information is going to flow and it's going to look literally being seen which one of us has the energetic baton. I could start a sentence, she'll finish it, forward it backwards, but it's going to be one message back and forth between two channels. There's an importance to that. They'll get into that when they get on to the lessons, but tonight's about their intentions as far as what the meeting is going to be about, and that's what we're here for, is why are they holding it, why now, and what's the importance.
Okay, guys, I'm just going to do a little cloud sound clearing for just a moment. So if everybody could just take a moment to disconnect from the world around you, close your eyes to begin to enter the world within you. As someone just jumped into the waiting room. All right, welcome. So go ahead and close your eyes. Allow your bodies to become comfortable. Give yourselves permission to become comfortable. Bring your attention to your back, your spine, your muscles, and soften them. Take a slow, deep breath with authority in through your nose. Holding that breath in your being, your body, allowing your spirit to fill this vehicle up, open your mouth, and exhale that which no longer is needed. Let it go. And take another breath. We always do threes. Breathe in through your nose. Allowing that breath, that new breath, to be absorbed wherever it is needed within your being. Open your mouth and exhale. Let go. And one final breath. All loved ones are starting to line up. It's like bing, 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 bing. Take a breath in through your nose. Hold that breath, knowing that you are truly, actually being physically, spiritually, emotionally, and energetically supported at this time. Hold it, open your mouth, and let it go. I do call on source energy. I call on all of our guides, our angels, I call on the archangels, the collective consciousness, all ascended masters and our loved ones. Thank you for creating this space divinely for all human beings that are ready to receive this direct message, this direct intention of love and clarity at this time. I give you permission to merge with me in light and in love using any form of spiritual communication necessary of the highest Christ light, as with all ascended masters who have come forth before to walk the line of faith and trust and fear. I call on you, allowing you to remind each of us of why we came. I ask that you are with David. Allow both of us to come together in perfect harmony, in perfect unity, in perfect truth, connecting all energy and vibrational outlets that are necessary at this time with much gratitude, gratitude being a dominant vibration. Amen. All right, guys. Some of you who are clairsentient, you felt a little bit of that. Okay. Some of you who were clairvoyant, you were able to see some stuff going on. Needless to say, you are interactive in this event this evening. What I will ask once we get started with this, I am able to jump in and jump out. However, if some of you are in the chat rooms and people are asking questions, if any of you are able to at least answer them, some people may be jumping in. I won't be able to let them in immediately if we're channeling, but if there's anybody on the chat, I would love if you could jump in and just help answer some questions. All right, and if they come in, just let them know to please mute their volume on their end. All right, guys, David, are you good? Is there anything else you want to touch on?
Let's get to it.
Did you feel them already step in the prayer? Oh, all righty. There's going to be a lot of Reiki energy going on this evening. So just please understand you will feel physical energy. Let it happen. Allow it. It is time. All righty. Here we go.
Greetings, children of God. Welcome for coming here and listening. The channel had said it is time. Time for what? Time for tacos? Time for sleep? What is it time for? The great conjunction is upon you. This is the beginning of the step into the 1,000 years of peace, the age of enlightenment, or not. Two paths side by side, running concurrently. Which one is which? This is the great fear of humanity right now. Will we survive? Will we live? What is all of this chaos occurring in our life on our planet right now? Why does everything seem to be falling apart? And at the same moment, great hope.
It is amazingly clear that the choice you shall make while you enter this next period of your transformation, your life, your path, your being, it is amazingly clear that you are aware. As with prior lifetimes, you have come forth and you have come into your being. And you have tried and you have tried and you have tried until you have come to this present moment where you are accurately aware that you have the ability to choose. And as we go into this energy called the Great Conjunction, which is nothing more than a communion of realities, a communion of knowing it is time where you step into your truth because you are where the vibration will continue to flow as some of the world is going to break away.
Break away. This is important. Understanding the concept of the group mind. This is going to be one of the topics that we are here to speak with you, because it is time for God's children to grow. It is time to know so that you can make a choice. This is the path that is before you. One of the topics on which we will commune with is the group mind and understanding how that interacts. Because as of right now, the group mind is currently splitting. This has been building, and now it is about to give birth. Part of the hustle is to fall away. Part of it is to move on and grow and go into an embryo and become something more. This information, put this way, should not be a surprise. Right now on this planet, there are two sides currently getting ready to go to war, and both cannot be together in the same space, in the same time, and be at peace. There is no resolving this mathematical equation the way that it is currently laid out.
You said, sorry, I think this is where we're going to have an interesting merge of information, because if some of you are watching my face, as you say words, David, it's almost like the energies here get excited. Like you said birth, and I was like, woo! So I might not be able to control that, and I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But we're gonna get the flow. We're gonna get the flow because they're like ready to piggyback. All right, go ahead. I apologize.
No worries. And so now it comes down to understanding this process, understanding your choices, and understanding the way the mind works. We are here to show you how to sharpen the lens of perceptions to be able to properly see.
There is sight, and I love that this is a point of reference. Sight is unseen. Faith is unseen. So much of your reality that you create is unseen. And yet you respond to your reality as if it is fact and it is actual. And this is why this war is going to become a stronger vibration. It is a war that is simply a conflict of interest. And this war has been a battle from the beginning of time, often within the very human being that used to come forth. From the very first day that you came through in this body, when you opened your mouth and you were able to breathe in the source that is within you into your lungs to give life to the being that is you, you began to play with choice. And from the very beginning of time, you have constantly given birth to new opportunities and new realities, always teeter-tottering on the brink of a choice. And we tell you at this time that although these words, like war and battle, feel scary, we tell you that it is not anything to fear at all, for it is a vibration that has been a part of human experience from the beginning of time, which is simply one of the very beginning points of reference. Your life is nothing more than a collection of points of reference. So we ask you through birth, what is it that you wish to refer to? All of the moments that you came forth and kept seeing that you keep choosing to deny the choices that you make? Or do you want to refer to your ability to give birth to the truth and the peace that runs through you? Every moment of every day when you are alone and you are zoning out and you are receiving things that are bigger than your ability to comprehend and handle and fix, we tell you, we know you are receiving us, and we tell you at this time to claim your ability to make decisions in the name of yourself, in the name of your source. This battle may seem loud and it may seem like it is filled with fear, but we tell you that you are here because of your faith. And you are here because we have faith in you. And there is nothing full of fear about that. Do not allow the noise to frighten you away from your power. We ask you to allow the noise to drive you toward your power. That is where Source will continue to give birth to new opportunities to choose clearer.
Here is the thing. Children, if you were someplace and something was about to happen, things happen all the time. If there was a hurricane coming, would you want to be warned? Some people say no. They would prefer to stay on the beach and do their picnic because it was planned. Do not disturb me with these events. Everything will be fine. Would you want to know? We are not here to share the doom and gloom, but yet each of you, in your own way, whisperings to each other's, the way you phrase things, with the way the current events are going, the way things are happening, you mention it, you take note in it, you take stock in it, you have hope, and then it continues to go in a way that causes stress. It is time to get the stress out of the way. If there are cards being held, then what are they? We are here to answer those questions. So within the meeting that comes, it is not the focus of the meeting. There is much more for us to share and to teach, but we will answer direct questions that you have about what is happening to my planet. What do you see happening in the future? What does this mean? We will not shy. We will not back away. And yes, it will be uncomfortable, not just for you, but for the channel. They do not want to bring through this information either. But we are here to share the truth. And it is time that you know, because you cannot move forward until you accept. It is time. Time for what? We have talked of this before. Their great conjunction is a moment of time that gives you opportunities that you have not had before. For example, you think you are linear creatures. You say you don't believe that, but you act that way. You are not linear creatures. Your perceptions may be linear in nature because of the way you manifest. But one of the lessons that we will do is showing you why this is an illusion. Currently within the Great Conjunction is the point in time when the energy rises and things begin to get saturated with it and it vibrates. You can already feel the onset of this happening. Your society reflects that energy within it, which is why so many right now are loudly screaming of fear because they are trying to manifest the energy they are comfortable with and not accept the change that is upon them. This should be nothing new. This happens all the time on your planet, yes? Have you not seen someone that does not wish to accept a change? What do they do when change is upon them? They grip tightly and let go with claw marks that which they know as real. So what is this planet doing right now? Holding on to fear with all its might. And it shakes the entire planet. You manifest it together. The time has come. The opportunity that is before you is to be able to clearly see you are not linear. You are so much more. To expand your mind in the way that it is. Within the higher energy, it is like two vehicles. There is the conscious self, because many books will teach you you are not conscious. You are conscious. You are consciously creating right now. It's not a question on whether or not you are conscious. The question is, what are you conscious of? That is the question we bring to you. What are you conscious of? What tools do you hold so dear that does nothing for you? That brings you constant sorrow, constant pain, constant circles of how am I creating this again? Why am I back in this position again? How is this happening again? Round and round. Break free. That is what these lessons are about. Within the great conjunction, as the energy rises, you have yourself that is conscious and traveling through what it thinks is a linear life. And then you have your higher self, which is receiving this energy and traveling and evolving upward. There is a point within the two pathways of a crossroad, an opportunity, where the two vehicles pass right by each other. The conscious self traveling in a linear way, and the higher self evolving and traveling upward. And the two parts of the self meet at the crossroads. And for that one instant, the two vehicles slow down and the passengers can see each other. They can literally toss something from one window to another because you're in the same space, in the same moment, in the same perception. It is a rare opportunity. And as they say, we can go ahead and offer options to, with that vehicle to, as you say, pimp my ride and put on terms of a thinning of the veil or describing it as a opening of dimensions. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the truth of that moment, because all of that is your mind. We are here to teach these lessons to you so that you can perceive them for yourself. It is no longer time for us to tell you the truth. We are now here to show each of you how to channel it for yourselves. It is time, because you no longer have time. All of the lessons you have received, whether by book, whether by inspiration, whether by a sunrise in the park, those moments of truth have collected to this. It is now time to own those truths. You never needed us.
It is wise to use the term crossroads and consciousness, because your consciousness is nothing more than your awareness. At a crossroads where it's not a struggle, but it is an awareness where you and the greater part of you come together. You have come forth in great awareness, concentrated awareness, love, concentrated love, And you are at this point where you are choosing. And that saying, you have run out of time, is not meant to trigger a fear, but to remind you that you have been grounded in the strongest of truth from the very beginning, of threads that have woven together to create the backdrop of space and time. And you have chosen to come through at this time, despite your greatest pains, despite your greatest experiences, because your consciousness is ready to go forward, because you are bringing the consciousness of humanity through you to the world that is being created at this great crossroads. This time is simply a shift of perception. Your subconscious is not a subconscious of the human brain, but at this time you have activated the subconscious of your spiritual brain, which is the group mind. This is what April calls the spirit posse, because through this group there shall be nothing but a gnawing, a reminder that truth shall prevail, that love is real, and that somehow, some way, we did not come forth because of a maybe, but we came forth because of a definite. And you are the definite that spirit has chosen to express this concentrated love through at this time. The great conjunction is nothing more than a new point of reference, but we ask you, do you want to step forward in your truth by simply removing the questions and allowing the answers? Do you want to step forth, breathing the breath that you try to latch onto? We see you. You breathe in desperation and you do not breathe in faith. So we say to you, how do you breathe in faith? You shush. And you respect your space and your time, because time is all that you are. Timelessness. Timelessness in a world that has a time space reality that is shifting, because so many of you, those that you are vibrationally connected to, have chosen to step away from this truth, this concentrated love. And we say they might fall, and we have them. Don't stop to pick them up. It is time that you have faith that the very source that calls you forward is also going to be the source that follows behind you, soothing and easing and supporting those that choose to retreat back into the one mind.
And this brings us to the question, what do you want? And who are you? It's the fundamental question. It's the questions behind the game. Let us understand, regardless of what you choose, you can turn this channel off right now and turn on reruns on TV and forget this ever happened. Go back to your lives. Go back to the way things are. Everything will be fine. The Great Conjunction doesn't mean anything. What does your heart tell you? Why are you here? Why do you know you came tonight? For some, it's simple curiosity. For others, it is deeper. I don't know what that is, but you do.
They are afraid of their depth. They are afraid of their depth. as if they put their legs into the ocean itself and they are afraid they are going to be swallowed up by their depth.
This is the key. Nothing can harm you. This has been written about in many different forms. Mayan calendar, the biblical form of it, other aspirations that came forth, Tibetan Buddhism for the end of the age of darkness and into the beginning of the age of enlightenment, prophecies, 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 prophecies. You have already been judged by God. It created all of us once. We all exist within its mind. In order for God to question itself, it would have to think and know and believe that part of itself is wrong. That is, or was, our illusion. That is not its illusion. It is not confused on what it is. So you have already been judged. However, we now stand within higher energy. It is a spiritual principle that the more you stand within higher energy, the more your seeds of karma burst forth at a faster rate. You are within very pure energy. You are crossing over the vibration that created this universe, the breath of God, the Big Bang. Very high energy. All of your seeds of karma on this planet are springing and growing. You watch the chaos. You watch with disbelief at why people can't see the truth and are clinging to the illusions. You watch the hatred grow. You watch the anger grow. And you wonder, what is the fertilizer that is making all this come so fast? It is the higher energy. In order to process and exist within it, like a balloon that rises, you have to cut the weights. You have to let it go. But you have to be conscious. You have to make a choice. And this is not about the world. This is about you. Who are you? Why are you here? Why did you come? What is your purpose? Because to answer those questions is to say in front of God what it created. And whether you like it or not, the energy is of God. And so you are surrounded. And it is time. What did God create? Who are you? Why are you here? What is your purpose? It is time.
We ask that you allow us to show you how spirit can transcend all avenues of space and time. We ask you to close your physical eyes because these are the avenues of sight. And yet we tell you that you use your true sight more often than you use your physical sight. So as you retreat into this space that is yours, we say to you to bring into a breath, breathe in this breath into your being, and just allow that breath to ease through your core. Don't push against that breath. Feel it. Exhale, let it go. Judgment is nothing more than pushing against another, pushing a thought against another. And we say, God judged you. But we ask you to feel the true vibration of judgment. A thought offered to, a thought. And all of a sudden, judgment of God is kind. It is as if the air that flows into your being softly goes where it is needed into your body. And it exhales where it is needed from your body. That judgment didn't hurt. It didn't constrict. And you allowed it. Your ego didn't push back, because all attention from and of God will never be harsh judgment. And in this moment of clarity, why clarity? Because as you are breathing and you are going where we are inspiring you to go, you are aware, you are conscious. You are choosing to let go of your fears, and you are allowing thoughts of love to carry you. A choice. We want you to see above your head a thin, 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 strong cord. And it is filled with the brightest of light. Lumens, many, many lumens. And it is flowing from a source that you cannot see, but yet you can feel it trickle through the top of your head. Breathing in as it crosses your throat into your heart, allowing it to go through your body. Exhaling and allowing it to go through your legs, to come out your feet. This cord is a cord that is you. It's a cord that connects all space and time. It is a cord that you cannot fall off of. So we ask you, can you feel us? Breathe that in. Can you see us without judgment? Can you allow your God without judgment? That is all you have to do. The energy of the great conjunction is happening for you. It is happening because it is time that you allow yourself to utilize this cord, because this cord will keep you connected. You can call it the golden chain. You can call it the tree of life. But we ask you, instead of looking at your feet that are tired and broken, we ask you to visualize this cord and see the roots that grow from beneath your being into the world in which you create. And we ask you to grow from here in this breath without judgment. As simple as that. Anything pushing against that is the battle.
There are reasons that in every religious work, it clearly states for the children of God not to judge, to leave that to God. Have you ever considered why? When we say judgment, there comes this fear. What is that fear from? Who taught you to be afraid of judgment?
Who taught you to be afraid of God?
Thank you. Judgment, according to God's mind, is what it created, which is why it's left to God. We, who have moved beyond the body, we were once physical, and in order to experience that which we wish to, we release the body to better experience it. We have learned to leave judgment to God. Because what is judgment? Judgment is love. And we have learned as beings to allow that to flow through us. We do not seek other expressions to find out what we are. We explore the depths of love. So when we say Judgment Day, you are meeting God. What do you see judgment as? Is it love? Is it really? Are you sure? What about the other areas of your mind? When the phrase God is judging you makes you afraid, that means you are afraid of God, which means it does not flow through. And if God does not flow through, then a shadow is created. And this shadow is what you're afraid of, that it is real. And it is not. It is not real. Intentions. What are these lessons to be about? We do not wish for these lessons to be about for us to sit here in a chair and tell you about love. We do not wish to continue preaching and encouraging what this is. Things have changed. Our intentions and what this lesson is about is interaction. We wish a discourse with you. We offer our wisdom to you. We wish to lay out points of truth. What is the group mind? Why is it splitting? How will that occur? What is the choice that is before you? What is the opportunity? How do I participate with that? How do I clarify my mind? How do I channel the love of God through me as an experience? What is blocking me? These are the questions that we entice your mind with, because these are the subjects we wish to speak about. Because right now, this is most important. This is what's worthy. This is what's preparing for the storm. The time has come for the children of God to once again to have that light flow through them. Heaven on earth as if in heaven. But that is a choice, and that is what we lay before you. There is no right or wrong. This is not all or nothing, do or die. No matter what you choose, you cannot hurt what God created. That is impossible, but you certainly can perceive it that way. And you will suffer from your perceptions. And so we come offering tools. We come offering discourse. And most importantly, and this one may be scary for you, we offer interaction. Personal interaction with what is really going on with your life. What are your real questions that if you had to ask and was unashamed, what would you ask us? This is what we thrive on now. This is what we want to know. How can we assist you?
A powerful time. All time is powerful. From the beginning of consciousness, from the beginning of awareness, it is not God who has judged. But you come forth in human form, and for every breath, the breath of God, the breath of spirit, the breath of source, you judge and push against that which you come forth to commune with. When you judge less your source, you will be able to allow source to express itself through your purpose. Sometimes we feel the discord in the word purpose that you use, because you do not seek purpose knowing that purpose is an inspirational experience. You seek purpose as if it is your duty, as if it is a chore, as if once you claim your purpose and you conquer your purpose, you will be happy. And we say, beautiful one, you are the happiness that allows the heavens to continue, because on our vibrational reality, all we see is happiness unfolding. In every breath that you choose to judge your God is a breath that you choose to remain vibrationally unhappy. Your purpose is to find your God in every breath that you take. Your purpose is to find your source in every choice that you make. And we come to you as we've been trying to come through April for a very long time, but as with many of you, she does not obey her inspiration. We come forth to remind you that this will happen. There will be a loud noise, but there is us, and we are louder. Love is louder, and that is the dominant intention. Together we come forth because we are love in real time. Love is the reminder that we are good. Love is the reminder that we could. Love is the reminder that we shall continue to be nothing more than the consciousness that is alive in every breath you take. So as this year, this vibrational point of reference continues to unfold, understand that there will be moments of this year that will be quiet. And there are moments of this year that will be absolutely unclear. But sometimes it is unclear around you because the only point of reference that is clear is the crossroad within you. And as we come together in this communion of self, we invite you to push the consciousness of community through the miracle of unity, because we are, period. We are, period. You are why, period. As you cry, as you crumble, period. Breathe in the only thing you have, which is your breath, because the moment that you do not have that breath, we will remind you that you will be sitting next to us, period. Reminding another group mind of the power that they are, period. And that is why we are coming forth at this time, because you asked us to remind you, period. So let us come together with you at this crossroad to open up the new block, to open up the new foundation, to lay the new lines of love.
Agreed, agreed, agreed. We offer a demonstration to show how this will be different in meeting type for interaction. We want to include a question. This channel's dear one had asked a question if it would be appropriate for this meeting yesterday. If he is willing to be used as an example for demonstration with the question, we ask that he unmutes and ask the question as he did yesterday, so the group can hear.
So with everything that's been going on, even those that aren't political have been pulled into politics. And as we've learned, politics really shapes our world and our life. Being politically active and being spiritually active and active in a lot of ways, how can we pull our energy in our own spiritual practices and spiritual schooling for political good, to be active politically, to make changes in our community? How do we balance our spirituality and use it as a force for political good?
Ooh, the point of reference. Couldn't wait to get to this question because of you. You must understand that life forms and molds your political system. Your political system does not form life, and yet the most powerful vibrational beings respond to a system that is not conducive of life vibration. It is squashing and squishing life vibration all over the land. And we see so many of you squashed, and we say, excuse me, in this crossroads, you have awareness and you have consciousness, and your subconscious is bubbling up to remind you that political systems can only transform when the individuals within them allow it. It is time to go forth in your truth to create the new lines that are meant to be pushed. The problem with your society is you keep pushing lines that no longer exist. There are no fences, and yet the majority of you keep acting like you are fenced in, and that is why you are feeling frustrated. Do not look at fences that do not exist. Take off the fence of the mind and listen to the truth in your heart. The problem with politics, we hate the word politics. Hate, dislike, disapprove, doesn't feel well. The word politic almost implies judgment, a group of the same, hooting and hollering. No, we say that you are a group with a name, creating the new, creating a functioning society that is built on inspiration, that is built on need and desire and truth and allowance, not fear, not fences. Fences are meant to be jumped. And you are timely, my love, because you, sir, are ready to jump fences. But we ask you to not listen to the voice that has been instilled in you. We ask for you to listen to the voice that is within you. Because that is the voice of truth. It is the very voice that created your country. Actually, factually, many of you don't know your country at all. We ask you to get back to your roots, the sacredness of your true source. Because then and only then can you all come together to create a world that is in balance, where you feel seen and heard and empowered and important. That is truly what a political system of light is about. Your society will push against you because it is afraid that a world without fences is a world without control.
And in this, we wish to redirect it in a more precise manner directly to you. So part of the information you shared yesterday to the channel was the fact of being pulled between two choices in time, one with the Green Party and one with your studying for the mystical truths. Is that not correct?
Correct.
So everything that was just said is absolutely true. But here's the issue. It has to go through your filters. It has to go through your mind. And so while the channel pours the cup of wisdom, most of it fills over and ends up on the floor because your cup is full. You have preset ideas of yourself. You have preset ideas in the way your mind works. The table is solid. There is time. You have concepts in your mind that sets you to miss what was just said. So instead, let's work on what's in the cup. We want to point out a wisdom to you. Within what you said, within the question, was to us an energy. How do I balance between political and my spiritual path? With what political have come today, let's put that aside for a second. There have been great movements like the freedom of slaves that was done through political means. How do you know as an individual? You should not be focusing on that, because there is a great truth to be born from the Green Party to step away from the two sides and give another option, a third choice to the people of this country. What would happen if you turned the political system up on end so that businesses were not in control, and there'd be other options for the American people that would be considered viable? How would they remain to be able to control your people within this country? That is going on in your mind. We know that because of all the conversations you've had with the channel. So that's not psychic. We know this. On the other hand, you have your spiritual path. And what if you are supposed to spend your time there because there was a great truth that your mind was coming to, but you lost it because you spent time going ahead and dealing with the political possibilities of what could be? Which path do I choose? Before we continue, can everyone here see why this would be a viable mindset within this world? You can unmute. Yes? Does that sound reasonable? Are we off base? Are we coloring it in a way that's not realistic?
Sounds reasonable.
Okay. Perhaps everyone missed interaction. Everyone else here, can you unmute and participate? Is that reasonable? Don't say it because
Yes.
it's not.
Welcome, welcome to this amazing connection. It is so amazingly divine to feel your attention.
How can one person make a difference with the
That is a good
channel?
question. That is a good question. We're going to put a pause to that while we deal with this one, and then we'll go and let the channel answer that one, if you don't mind. Is that okay?
Yes.
Thank you. So, the mindset that you have to choose between the two, and that there's a right or wrong answer, and that the answer is somehow out in your outer world, and your job as a mom, as God's child, is to look without your world and see which options are there and weigh them, because one of them holds a reality for you in the future. Is everyone still with us?
Yes.
Good. So, this is an illusion. There is no future. There is now. And looking out into the world and weighing it to see which one holds a better option for you based on what's going to happen in the future, you cannot find yourself there. You will always create more illusion. The answer is here. So, dear one, what we tell you is, should you be political or should you be spiritual? And how do you balance that? The answer is within your heart. You take a moment and you center and you breathe. And in that moment, you see the path before you. And you feel which one grows brighter, which one feels like home. You wait for the nudge from within, which is God's voice telling you this way. Is that political? Or is that spiritual? There is no right or wrong answer. Which way is God going with you? That is the correct answer.
It is a correct answer. But if so many of you do not even know your definition of spirituality, then you will not be able to answer that question. It is easy for us to say to live your life spiritually and then push against the political system and then to make a decision from our point of view. But our point of view is just a point of reference. So we say to you, you cannot live your life and make a difference in it if you don't know what your spiritual being is. So many of you have changed, and your connection to the source you once knew has changed. And yet you will not allow yourself to explore what this source is. Your purpose at this time of now is to allow that source to speak through you to change the world that is within you. But you cannot do that if you do not know the voice of your source. So we say, breathe. A political system that cannot be felt is a political system that is not solid. A political system that is built on judgment, that is not love, is a political system that is not solid. And the truth is, the political system can be in any aspect of your vibrational reality. Your political system in politics, in parties, your political system within the family, your political system at your career, at your vibrational space at work, your political system in your neighborhood. We ask you, it doesn't matter what you call your political system. We say, what matters is that your political system can only change and transform when you allow your spirit to impact it. So what is your spirit? What is your spirituality? Many of you hear that and you say, I cannot live life spiritually. I cannot just meditate all the time. I cannot just bring this stuff to work. My family has already told me not to bring it to the table. And we say, then you aren't living at all. Sometimes your environment will push against you because it is judging in fear, because you are doing something vibrationally that they cannot understand. And this is where your world is headed. And we are confident in you because you have the ability to lead your world. Do not look at your political system to see how to change it. Look at your spiritual system and see how to allow it. Then you will have all the attention in the world that you need. That is the problem with your political leaders. They don't have faith in the power they say that they have. Sometimes they teeter-totter with spirituality, but they never bring it. And you know this because you are meant to bring it. Are you prepared to bring your breath into your questioning, your experiences? Are you? Because you are asking us all these amazing questions all the time. We cannot shut you up. You lay in bed at night on your phone and then you put the phone down and you look at the ceiling and you go, how is this possible? You have the most amazing, intricate brain. Oh, we say, use it, please, because you are the light that is leading those who are still in the dark behind the fences. Now, do you understand the question further? Do you understand the question further, not the answer?
Dear one, we come back to you. You had the question, how can one person effectively make a change? Is it okay that we answer that, or would you prefer for the channel to answer that? It does not matter.
Either one.
We will take it. How does one make a change? By understanding that you're not making it. That sounds like a contradiction in terms, so allow us to give some background to understand. There are individuals on your planet that has done what others would consider great things. We love watching them. We love celebrating them because they have done great things. They are beyond reproach. They are loved for it. And so everyone wants to do great things. But if you actually look at those people that did those things, they spoke of we, or they spoke of something that was more than them, that kept pushing them to do it, to get it done, to give inspiration. They wouldn't quit because they understood that they were driven to get it done. So the first step is understanding they were not alone. So this brings us to you. What does that mean to you? Absolutely nothing. The important point to take home is that you are not alone, dear one. So what are you here to do? Did you want to do something great? Because many great things on this planet need to be done. God loves people to step forward and say they want to channel its energy to do great things. Because that means you're going to walk in conscious recognition and understand, dear one, not everyone called it God. Martin Luther King called it God. Scientists did not. They called it inspiration. But they followed it, each faithfully, and channeled that energy so that greatness was done. So would you like to do something great? By all means. What are you here for? What is your purpose? Each of you, as children, have your own unique light and frequency that only you can radiate with God. Each of us cannot experience that moment with it. Only you can. But if you shine that light, we can see your demonstration of it. So what are you here to demonstrate? Because in this, you are not alone. Does that answer your question, dear one?
Basically. You just want to know if we can make a difference
Yeah,
in our small way. How can we make a difference?
It's simple as being at the supermarket and looking across the person and smiling and letting them know it's not that bad and you are not alone. Yes, you can make a difference. It could be great or it could be small. Our advice to you, go for the small. It doesn't have to be great, because when you have a lot of small things happen, they snowball into a great movement. They snowball into a great effect. Do the small things. Be what you are. Let that light flow. Connect. Be real. Feel that moment with someone else. Every time you do, within the group mind of humanity, God's mind is slightly healed because it remembers itself. And that is what you're here for. That is why you took the body. That is why you are here. You already know what you know. You came to experience that. Does that make better sense to everyone?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Continue.
We have an exercise for you to try. When you are out and about in your world wanting to make a difference, we simply say that to be the difference, you have to see the difference. You have to see the difference. And when you are out and about, we ask you to very gently look into the eyes of each individual that crosses your path. Simply look into the eyes of every individual being that crosses your path, because in that moment, that is an experience of God, and you cannot put words to that. You cannot unsee what the soul sees, and in that moment, you will see the difference. The problem is you push against the difference. You expect to be some kind of power that pushes through and levels out, and we say, but you don't do it for yourself. We can't get you to sit alone with your source long enough in confidence and gratitude to even make a difference in your own experiences. For the next few days, playing with the power of time, look into the pupils, deep within the iris, deep within the eye. You will notice a vibration that transcends past the physical cell. You will see the soul. And we say to you in that moment, what shall you do with it? What shall you do with that soul? And then what shall you do with that soul? But we say to first start with the mirror. Later today or tomorrow, we say, get in front of the mirror and we say, look into your eyes. You will look away. You will get uncomfortable. But if you cannot look into your own eyes to see the God within you, how can you go out into the world to allow God to change? God has changed through you, through our intentions, our combined intentions, all of our intentions united. We look into the eyes of one another and we bring forth and inspire that truth, and collectively we are making a difference. Small one breath, we say it over and over like a broken record. Breath, and yet you breathe as if it is the most painful and excruciating experience of your life. But there is a reason that the medical professional smacks you on your behind when you are born. It is to remind you to take a breath and to breathe into this body that you have come forth in, as crippled as you may think that it is. Crippled is only a frame of mind. How to change the world is to uncripple your view of God. And then we will tell you your world will change automatically.
That is absolutely true. Dear children, we hear you when you say it is getting late, so we will wrap. What we wish to tell you for intentions is that the meetings beginning from the start of the Great Conjunction, December 21st, going forward, we are here for you. The change and the time now of a different style is that it is time for interaction. It is time to offer truths, and it is time to show how to work that within your mind, to channel it for yourself. It is no longer time for you to get answers. It is time for you to learn to be the answer. None of these teachings that we have been going over and over and over and over again will work until you empty your cups. The challenge before you is to come to the meeting and intentionally do this. My cup is empty. It is not a matter of the concepts that we will share being right or wrong. You get to judge this. You get to try them out, and you get to reject them, or you get to keep them. They are yours. We will work with you and demonstrate how to work that specifically for your frequency and your vibration, because each of you are different. You perceive things differently. And believe it or not, that was a divine plan. No one sees the ink blot the exact same way. And even when they do, and they start discussing minute details, they realize it separates. Perception is a slippery snake. It will not be organized. It will not be functioned into one plan. So we will work with each of you according to your mind and your frequency, which means interacting, which means a classroom environment, which means listening to each other and having these minds be here to answer questions and guide your perceptions. The work is on you. This is what we offer you. We will discuss topics of answer questions on what is going to happen. Each of you have them in your mind, but you are afraid to ask. It is time to stop being afraid and ask the questions. We will not shy away. We will answer them. And then we get on to the good stuff. How to make this work.
In our deepest gratitude, we invite you to come and play. You are not meant to change the world in desperation and in boredom. The problem is most of you are bored. So we invite you to come and play. Play with the breath. Play with the life. Play with this moment that is connecting each of us in truth. We ask you to remember that every moment that you have the awareness of something is a moment in which you are changing the world, because your awareness is the world forever changing. We cannot respond to your questions without your point of reference. And your point of reference is every single lifetime, every single experience, every single thing you have written down in your book of life that says, I know. And we say that is why we are here, because we are going to inspire you to know more. No more fear. No more judgment. No more hiding. No more doubt and no more worry, because we are the bridge from all of those who have come forth before in faith, and there is no turning back now. It is too good to be true. It is too good to be true, because it is too good to be true. In love and light, in gratitude, in those moments when you think you are alone, ooh, we are right there, and we tell you, boo. You will always know that we are there, because you will take a breath, and then you will feel a warmth. You will settle, and we say rest. And when you awaken, we will do it again. In love always, in love, in love, in love, in delicious love. We love you. We love you. We love your fear, because you every moment choose to go past it. You have a courage that is on fire, and that true beautiful one is your purpose. Your courage will lead you. Trust us. You are stubborn and you are bold. And we are ready to play with you, because we are creating deliberately through each of your points of reference as we flow forward and focus forward together. Amen.
We will close with 2 points. Point 1, an inspiration to think about, to come to the meeting on December 21st with an empty cup. consider your mind and consider this as a possibility of a truth. When you experience something and you describe it to someone, can they ever truly understand it? Can they experience it the way it flowed through you? Or are they getting a similarity of it? Have you ever had anyone in this world stand there with you and say, I perceive exactly the same thing and I experience the exact same thing? And when you actually look at it, it is not slightly different, similar, but different. Have you ever considered the fact that there's only one other being in your mind? And that is the energy that flows through it that gives it life, which is God. No one can experience your mind, but they can experience what you demonstrate through it. And if that be true, and no one can experience what is going on in your mind, and you consider this and you find this to be almost true, then consider all the concepts your mind holds of this world. The politics, the left, the right, the poor, the rich, the wealthy, those who don't have, the sick, the healthy, all the dualities. If your mind, no one else can experience, then take these definitions and say, do they exist in the world or do they exist in your mind? Not the reality that one has more money than the other. What you think and what you feel and what you experience about those concepts. Is that the world or is that you? Surprise, surprise, dear ones. You are not here to heal this world. You are here to heal your perceptions of it. Because it's all happening in your mind. But in order to understand that concept, you have to be willing to do this. To empty those concepts, to let it go just enough, not to hear our truth, but because that is what God needs to get through the chink in your armor so that you could see its light shining through your mind. This is not about hearing us. This is about hearing your light move through your mind so that you cast it with no shadows. So your perceptions are healed. Point 2. The meeting to go on December 21st is up to the channels. We honor free will. They get the right to meet after this and decide whether this will work for them. And they may decide this will not. And if that is the case, the doorway closes and this doesn't happen. We honor free will. So we give that choice to the channels. And our peace to you. Oofda.
Wow. So, what did you guys think? David, what did you think?
I'm not seeing anybody with tomatoes. Guys, what'd you think?
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, I put in the chat, I don't know, but at 11:11, I'm surprised that I got bumped off finally. Everything in my house went off.
Oh, that's actually kind of wonderful.
Yes.
Because how do I say that? I'm trying to save the chat. I guess that's what I did. Energy doesn't ever lie. I have over 11 years have had multiple people tell me, oh, right before my reading, the night before, my lights went out. Spirit's powerful. Now, combining it with this man over here, that's probably twice my size, and I'm a curvy girl. That's a lot of energy. What I think I think what's the hardest part for me, David, is being slowed down by time and space humanly. That's the hard part.
Yes.
That was pretty amazing. Did any of you, like, what do you think? Like, is this normal? Like, is this something that you've seen before? Something you want more of? Did it freak you out? What did you think?
Yeah, anything goes.
I put a comment in there of like, oh, fire and ice, hot and cold, because it's what I enjoyed is seeing the same topic or train of thought being approached. I would say, from what I picked up, April very much higher level overview, and then David seemed a lot like there were a lot of practical things, and it was just interesting to see the merge between the higher level, general this, and then the detailed matter of fact examples. So even if the matter of fact examples didn't apply to each one of us, we get the idea, like taking whatever April was channeling down with whatever David was channeling and kind of connecting it. So it was just interesting. At first it threw me off, like, where are we going? But then you can kind of see the connections there. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it because I've never ever done this with somebody. I've never, I've never had my butt handed to me through my own face. So, they completely threw me under the bus for a moment. So,
I backed up.
I was like, well, excuse me. But so I'm glad. I'm just so grateful that you guys participated.
I will say it's the first time that they've actually finally, they've been preparing us for the year. The entire year they've been preparing us.
Mhm.
And it finally is coming to where they're like, okay, we've been grooming you for this.
It's true.
And here it comes. But I do question, if they are saying that we have free will, what about those of us that are ready to go and want to go? Can we still head down that path, even if the masses are not ready? That's a question that we'll
Well,
have
I
to
think
find out.
I think that honestly, that's the whole point, is that path is there and you see it because you're the one that sees it. If the masses were supposed to go, it's a path less traveled, and you're over there like whacking down the weeds, like, what am I doing here? Why are they all going that way? And God is like, woman, go down that path. It's yours. And so, just like what I did tonight with David, it's this isn't normal stuff for me. My face changes. I can now feel when certain beings enter and exit. I feel my face change. I can feel if it's female, if it's male. That's different. And yet it's soothing.
There's definitely the shift coming, because I personally, feel it out there. I see it on different things on YouTube. The vibe is there. The vibe is there. It's
Yep.
the fear may be trying to scream louder, but our vibrations are so far above it that everybody's feeling this shift.
Yeah.
That's what they were talking about tonight, about the group mind splitting. There'll be more information given on that to really flesh that out and to make it more understandable. But there's part of the group mind, and both sides said it, there's a part of the group mind that doesn't want to leave fear. They don't have to.
Yeah.
They don't have to.
Well, I think probably the human part of us is worried about our loved ones.
Yes.
Because we want to surrender, but we want to not leave them behind. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. And here's the thing, it comes down to, and these are questions I would say write them down, because if you plan on attending, this is the good stuff.
Oh God, yes.
Please ask, because make it interesting, make it difficult. I want to see questions that make me come out of trance and say, oh my God, what did you just ask? Hold on.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want. Make it real. But the thing of it is understanding that we want to include our loved ones. We want everyone to be safe. We want everyone to get to whatever it is that's going to happen together. We want. There comes a point of understanding the gift of free will and what it does. Every person that has dealt with someone that has passed from an addiction has had to deal with the heart-wrenching truth that you can't save everybody. You try logic, you try arguing, you try violence, you try everything you possibly can to save that person and get through them, and free will happens and they don't listen.
And that's what's great about David and I, because he says stuff that opens little doorways within me, and I could hear Spirit saying, who says that you're leaving them behind? What if they're leaving you behind? What if they're leaving you behind? Like, they're like, love you, I ain't going where you're going, honey. And we're like, I can't go without you. I mean, it's really powerful. And even when we lose them, they are with Spirit. They are literally part of this collective. When, tonight there were several moments where, as Spirit was talking, the individual that asked about the politics, not only because as they answer you, I am looking at you through their eyes. It's pretty powerful. But then because I'm also present, I see a lot of your loved ones around you. And you don't leave anybody behind. I mean, it's almost like white on rice. They're like, where's Teresa? Boom. It's an illusion. It's a thought. It's a fear that if I vibrate over here and they're vibrating over here, then we're disconnected. And that is a thought that if we keep thinking, it becomes a belief. And then Spirit says, could you stop thinking that? Because it's the furthest thing from the truth.
Well, and that goes right along with how David was saying it, is that it's the perception.
Exactly.
It's
See,
the perception.
I can't wait to go back and hear, David, what you said, because I couldn't pay attention to all of it because I was in here and there was a lot going on.
Well, one of the things I want to bring up to people, because there's a difference in style besides the fact of, the way we interpret, how to interpret information from Spirit. The one that I work with for Women in the Forest, and I think it has to do with the fact that we sync up as channel and voice because we're very similar in the way that we deal with things in life. We knew each other in a past life, and I knew her. Her last thing was to get me to leave from being a gladiator onto the Temple of Adelphi, the path of spirituality, and that was her last thing to do in this life. And at that point, things shifted. But so we're very similar in the way we see things. So it's like a lot of times it's like, okay, when it's like, well, what's the answer to this question? Okay, well, let's step into the middle of darkness first and work our way backwards. Because if we can deal with the darkness first, then at that point, everything gets lighter as we go. Doesn't that make sense? And most people are like, no, I don't want it dark. Let's stay in the light. And it's like, no, let's get right up there and see it real clear. And it's always been a defining tribute of my personality. If anyone, if you get to know me as a person, it's like, okay, I'm going to deal with what is the worst case scenario first. Okay, I got that. Okay, where does everything else fall? So you'll see that a lot when I go ahead and channel. It's like, oh, he just went dark. There's a spiritual truth to it. It's a matter of taking the sword of truth and cutting it in half to show it's an illusion. Let's begin from there. So please don't be intimidated by that. You'll get used to the style and understand what's taken away.
And for reassurance, here's the cool thing. God will always reassure you, period. Why? Because in action, in proof, boom, it's done. And David, I finally finished. Actually, Dave and I are working together to bring some pretty cool gifts for readings for the month of December. And one of the things that I put together is an ebook, which acts like an oracle book, just summing through. And I channeled messages, and there are two in there, one for darkness and one for light, and you literally just summarize both of them. So it's just kind of creepy. It's creepy cool. So that's what we mean, where we don't even talk about this and we're off doing our own work and literally getting the exact same timely message, which means, guys, your questions are on time. The answers are on time. If anything, Spirit is more willing than ever before to get your awareness to where you've asked for it to be. So we are going to bring to you these sessions starting the 21st of December, using that energy of the Great Conjunction. You know, there are these amazing moments in our space and time that deal with the moon, that deal with the cosmos. That's energy. You know, we want it. It's momentum. And we're going to use that. We're going to ride that wave. And we want to invite you to be a part of this, because you are this. You are this. You literally are this.
And I'm going to say something that's going to sound completely self-serving, and I own it. I own it. I own it. But from a perspective of someone that's a seeker of a light, you know, ever since I was a kid and I can enter a library and get books, I just absorbed like Reiki books, anything, you know, whether it went from dark magic to light magic to history to mystical, I was always searching for something. So for someone that has been through lifetimes of desperately seeking for the truth, the opportunity to sit in front of a channel that can actually channel and have clear information, and that's arrogant, I know, I'm sorry, but it, you know, it is what it is, but that can actually have a clear, concise message is rare in between. To have the offer of being able to go ahead and sit down with a spirit and say, and what is going on with your life today?
Right.
And have the answer personalized to your particular thing. If used correctly, because it's not there like, oh, how cool. It's a tool. If you're looking for spiritual growth and understanding your mind and what, how to expand and what's blocking you, this is a rare opportunity. The challenge is we don't know what you're going to say, and we don't know particularly what your issues are. So it makes it, you know, on my part of the channel, absolutely excitingly fun to bring this stuff through and watch the aha moment go on of the potential of something that you've been working on for lifetimes to finally click off, and you say, I get it. No, I get it. You don't understand. I get it. And because they know, they can see all of that and know just what to say, how to phrase it, what energy to send with it, because that goes from part of it to speak to all parts of it to combine. And I know that doesn't make much sense, but it's hard to bring esoteric into a concrete form.
It's mind blowing. It's absolutely flipping mind blowing.
I hope you see it.
We're geeking out here. I don't know if you guys can notice that. As channels, I think we're really geeking out, because why are we channels? Use us. I mean, this is what David's saying. Like, guys, how many lifetimes did we sit around the water cooler or the playground going, I wonder if God even hears us? And then here we are, and God is like, sit down and let's talk. Powerful as we are going into the year of receiving. So very, very divinely timed. David, is there anything else you want to just touch on before we wrap?
Yeah, two things. One of the things that I saved for the future lessons coming up, which I'm sure you got the same information I did with that exact moment, was the year of blessings and the year of receivings. And that wonderful voice came over, well, what was blessed and what's to be received?
That's so good.
That's one of the topics. What was blessed?
What was blessed?
Received? How could you appreciate blessings if you don't know what was blessed? And how can you prepare to receive if you don't know what you're receiving? And it was like, and then they showed me what it was. I'm like, oh, I get it. So yeah, good stuff.
Well, I think we were taught this year, because of the pandemic, to appreciate what's right in front of you instead of always striving for other things. Is to, I mean, some of these commercials have nailed it. It's brought you back to basic, back to family, back to spirit, back to breathing.
Look, when God shuts down Disney, you know something big is going on.
Try this out for size. The year of blessings was what we have to appreciate. That is true, because a lot of stuff was taken away. So we got to appreciate what we do have and see it clearer than if we were busy like we normally were. Now try this on for size. The year of blessings is what's been taken away. The year of receiving is what's going to be coming in its place. And when you're in flow with that and understand its purpose, you see its brilliance and its wisdom. If you don't, you panic and you fight the flow of the river and bang every rock on the way down. It is time to prepare and go with the flow and understand the plan behind the universe.
Well, isn't it always been said that in order to receive, you must surrender old things, purge old things. You can't bring new things into your life unless you let go of old things. And I think that's what we did this year. We let go of old things.
And here's the thing. All of us are old enough as it is right now to have gone through a period in our life to know that that statement you just said is 100% true. We have all had something we do not want to give up, especially when we were younger. Oh God, how we love to claw mark everything. The boyfriend, girlfriends, the job, because it all meant everything. The home, we can't go out on our own because it meant emotionally tied us and we didn't want to let it go. And life comes along and says, give me that. And there goes the claw marks and a couple of fingernails, and we're into something new, and on we go. Because we resisted the flow of the river until we lost all strength and just surrendered and flowed with it finally. And realized we were going to be okay anyway. Yeah, that's true. That's what's happening. You know, and that's kind of what the whole thing of ask the questions that's on your mind. Ask what you're afraid of. Get it out in the open. Let it go, because you need to lighten your weight and you need to know what to let go. And you need to prepare for that. The time is now. And that's what they were talking about, if that makes sense now.
Okay. So, forewarning about David, the best way to describe him is a spiritual rhinoceros sometimes. I totally see this, but you guys have to understand, being an Italian Aries, I welcome his big energy more than you know. It is nice to share the space you hold for spirit. It's very nice. And you can't do that all the time. You really can. It's like even friends that you have of yours, you may not completely always trust them emotionally. When you are channels, there's nothing more beautiful than surrendering that space completely to God. I mean, really, it's amazing. All right, I'm going to take my human brain and I'm going to probably knock it out and go to sleep. I may have to go talk to spirit a little bit and say, excuse me, you outed me in front of everybody. David, thank you so much for this.
And could we let everyone go and you and I talk for a little bit?
Absolutely. And guys, if you did want to take advantage of the half off specials, please know December, I am not going to be using any coupons. So this will be the last time this year where you can get half off of readings. It ends Monday, the 30th. You will get a bunch of really cool free gifts with readings in December. But I just wanted to let you guys know that. And I think that's about it.